is Twitter as of 20 past 9 p.m. on Saturday the 6th of August 2022. This person dies in hospital after life support withdrawn. Rest in peace. I thought he was doing that with little boys. I had a feeling that was a problem. So, get James Franco, he was like sexually assaulting. It is like this acting school or something like that, and apparently he was sexually assaulting the female students. At least that's what I've heard. But I could be wrong. Sleeping with them for good results. Because of that, he hadn't been cast in anything for about 5 years. Like, the last thing he did was The Disaster Artist. And now he's been cast as Fidel Castro. And the problem, apparently, is the fact that he isn't Latino, and not the fact that he is, I don't even know what the word would be for someone who sexually assaults people. Just a bad person. But I mean, I'd be a bit hypocritical if I didn't say that they shouldn't cast a non-Latino as Fidel Castro. But Batman playing Batman. Oh no. Yeah, I had a feeling that the first thing to pop up was going to be anti-Israel. Israel are committing war crimes. They're killing Israeli civilians. Right. I've talked about this when the Israeli-Palestine conflict was happening. Well, the most recent conflict. Because, like, everyone was on the side of Palestine because Israel were firing missiles into civilian areas of Palestine. But what they're missing out is that the reason why they're doing that is because the Palestinian military are firing missiles from within, civilian areas within the cities of Palestine. So Israel either has to just do nothing and take the constant missile barragements, or they can attack back, which unfortunately will get civilians killed. But that's not the fault of Israel. That's the fault of Palestine. I'm scared people will mistake my eczema for monkeypox and shame me online. Well, just say to them, no, I'm straight. Let's see the good point they make about the show's questionable CGI. I'm not hearing anything from the She-Hulk creator. I'm hearing stuff from the producer and the main actor. What's the point in delaying it for a day? How much can you get done in a day for something like this? Sir Who? Okay. Congratulations. I don't think I'm gonna understand most of the things that is being said here, but Elon Musk's counterclaim suit against Twitter. Clearly from Twitter SEC filings, MDAU is the key metric. It is the key metric for its business revenue and its market value. MDAU is an ad hoc metric created to protect Twitter's interests. No competitor uses something similar. Yeah, I didn't understand any of that. Please don't take me down for animal cruelty. In fact, you know, like, can you please understand the context? You know, they're trying to rescue their dog from a massive snake that's choking it out. Wait, don't jump! I mean, I get why you would boo France, but I mean, really? Cheering the trans flag? Sorry, I'm trying to do the global conflict and Agents of Mayhem while talking. I have found this from Gotham City Imposters.
I caught a little Pokemon. Do you want to know what Pokemon I caught?
What Pokemon did you catch, Joker?
I caught a little punny, Batman. I caught a little punny.
Oh no, Joker. Don't tell me.
You already know, Batman. You know what I'm gonna do to that thing.
Joker, it's an animal, Joker. You can't.
Batman, there's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman. I can do whatever I want with it.
No, Joker. No, don't do it.
I'm gonna do it, Batman. I caught a...
r/ask by you/Eastern Memory 4450 10 hours ago. You have 24 hours inside of Donald Trump's body, remaining in your own mind, and you only you know. What do you do? Are you gonna save the world, or burn it all down, or just go golf and raid a cheeseburger against the wall, or take Eric to Target for some Pokemon cards, maybe visit the Dalai Lama, plan your big comeback? What will you do? Then when 24 hours expire, your mind returns to your own body. If Trump's body dies within that precise 24-hour period, while you have control, your mind expires and your body is left a vegetable. Delete it. That 209 points. It's probably gonna do something like kill myself. Small sacrifice to make a safe country. because Donald Trump is evil. I'm going to assume that this was actually made when Trump was president. Oh, there, I didn't even read that. I killed myself in an embarrassing way. Autoerotic strangulation? You mean asphyxiation? I was gonna say put a gun to my head and pull the trigger, but like the embarrassing way better. Kill myself, screw his wife, suicide on live television, shoot myself, have sex with as many models as I could, and then buy myself a house and put 50 million in a trust fund for my kids. I mean, there's something nice. Put $50 million in a trust fund for your kids, instead of needlessly killing yourself because you believe that Donald Trump is not a good person. Okay, let me correct that. Not a good president. Because there are no good politicians. The amount of people committing suicide is insane. Delete it. Although, I'm going to assume that those are something else than killing yourself, because there are other people saying that they would kill themselves and then get deleted. Anyway, Redditors dreaming about what they do if they had 24 hours inside Trump's body. Be confident. Remember, positive thinking. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Highly positioned. Boy, I just love it when Marcus gets in the arguments. Okay, I've been reading this. Fred was so long I wouldn't have even started off by scrolling down first. What Mac for make okay, but I already said that. You've been acting, you've been cancelled, make up your mind. Well, he's still going too. I mean, he's right. Marcus was supposedly cancelled, but here I am, seeing his dumbass crying about it on Twitter, getting exposure because of it. Let's be honest, this dude wasn't winning awards for his comedy in the first place, so the grift is perfect for him. Right. Yeah, he was able to bounce back, but some people don't. Right? Like, other than Marcus and James Gunn, name me someone who has been cancelled but bounced back. Okay. Maybe, I guess you can consider Johnny Depp as well, because it was initially the majority opinion that he was the one doing the abuse. So other than those three, name me someone who's been cancelled that bounced back. Because Marcus was cancelled. Because it was impossible for him to get a job. Because there are obviously people who would, go and find out where he worked. I'd say he got a job in Tesco's and they're able to find out that he got a job in Tesco's. I'm going to assume that they just saw him working in Tesco's. Then they call up Tesco's and say, you know that you guys have hired a Nazi? And then obviously Tesco's will fire Mark without even looking into if he's a Nazi or not, because they don't want to look bad. That is cancel culture. If he, if his comedy wasn't successful, he'd be screwed. Anyway. Do you not see the irony in what you're saying? If he was cancelled, here he wouldn't have a platform. Yet here we are, under this dumbass's tweets. Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness? Mental illness is what you get from following Marcus bloody Meekin. The argument is essentially, you get shot in the leg, but there's no longer a bullet or wound in it, and you're walking, so you were never shot. The argument is essentially, he said stuff people didn't like, so people don't want him and stuff, and now it's unfair, people don't like him. Not my argument, but alright, the backlash wasn't even over something he said. His pug raised its paw for food. He made his dog do a Nazi salute and has continued to say edgy things for content sense. Right, other than Nazi pug, name me one edgy thing he has said. But you won't know because, you know, you're the kind of person that gets all their information about Marcus from The Guardian. And The Guardian knew nothing about what Marcus is doing. All they know is that 6.25, maybe 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 years ago. So, sorry, something happened to that pause video. But basically, Guardian remembers about Marcus. Like, Marcus doesn't even have to do anything, they'll just remember him and say that, you know, this guy, and that's it. And people, when they argue Marcus, they'll be like, aren't you that guy that taught his pug to the Nazi salute? And Marcus' response is obviously, Giga Chad, yes. Anyway. You can cry all you want, but the reason why people don't like that loser and the crying doesn't make it any more unfair. Yet the reason why is because they read The Guardian, who, as I said, haven't done research at all. Like, his content isn't really political anymore. He just makes videos about people who have crazy lives. Right? So, for example, I'm trying to think of one. You don't want Billy the Kid, right? Because his life was insane. Call that absolute mad lads. That's 99% of what he does now. On his second channel, though, he does make political content. He just reads out news articles, similar to what I'm doing now. Just I'm doing Twitter. And he will give his opinions on that, but it's nothing really. They're minority opinions, but they're not like edgy. It's, you know, it's mostly stuff like the government sucks and that's it. Nancy salute, my dog literally does this when we put food in front of her. Don't know how you manage to get your head up your ass, foot in your mouth, and nose in places you clearly know silch about, but I would recommend sitting down before you have an aneurysm. Let's see this article. Beacon posted the video titled Meet Your Dogs a Nazi in April 2016 and was arrested last year. He now faced jail time under the Communications Act 2003 according to Yahoo News. Literally referred to it as a Nazi salute himself in the title of the video, you brainlet. Why is this paint-huffing bootlicker Lorpic as an intellectual still my mentions crying about everything? Why are you responding to the paint-huffing bootlickers, buddy? You've got plenty more crying to do about being cancelled. Thanks for reading all my tweets, though, you insufferable loser. And he's still crying. I was cancelled. Won't anyone spare a thought for a starving artist? He never said he was a starving artist. Like, the only reason why he isn't a starving artist is because, thank God, it's comedy. But if he didn't have it, then he'd probably be dead by now. How much Marcus earns estimated 75k a year. Although that's in dollars. That's just totally incorrect. It's way more than that. That's what I figured crime was by being cancelled, pussy. The attempt didn't work, so that means it's not real. What attempt? You're making over 75k a year making dog crap content for teenage edgelords. Sounds like you're finding me. Again, his content isn't edgy anymore. It's not really political. He's just talking about people in history who have had crazy lives. Right? I mean, you done a video on Bob Ross. You're really gonna you know, say that Marcus and Megan edgy content that's just for crap board teenagers. What do you think of videos about how crazy Bob Ross's life it was? Again, you're a businessman. Not upsetting your customers is like capitalism 101. Maybe go back to middle school if you're having trouble there. You don't watch my content. Actually, if I was some copy-paste YouTuber, my audience would be far bigger. Doesn't sound very capitalist to go for something that makes less money. Again, saying that because it didn't work, it's not real. Man jailed for misgendering. Why would I watch your crap content? You can't even properly cover news stories. Sorry I couldn't get through the whole thing, buddy. That's his second channel. Look. See if you zoom in on this image. Tells you the name of the channel. Count Dankula. That's probably all you read. But like, there's no way that you search, like, obviously you're gonna have to search up Count Dankula. His second channel shouldn't be the first thing to pop up. And it definitely wouldn't be a video from 6 months ago. But Count Dankula 2, as in his second channel. I already know how this happened. It's the only thing of mine you have ever watched, and you got it off of Reddit, didn't you? It's not even my main channel. Nah, my friend sent it to me, trying to show me you made good videos. It's poor taste. Too bad the video title is wholly inaccurate, and you spend the whole time defending a dude who said trans people should die and don't deserve rights. Holy crap, you didn't even watch the video? As you can see, I watched half. It was terrible, as I've mentioned. Right, just because you've shown the bar doesn't mean that's proof that you've seen half the video. It wasn't even half, it was like a quarter or a third at a push. You could have just scrolled through that and then taken the screenshot. So you meant providing commentary in a full video that you only watched half of? Damn, I've never met someone this boldly stupid. You read a whole article, produced a video, posted it, and still got the title wrong, but I'm the bad guy? Just like I wouldn't listen to a guy review a movie he only saw half of. I'm not listening to your BS. That's just great. Elon, just put me back at the top. I think it's time that Twitter learns the code. That's why I called you an idiot. Being actually turns away the wider audiences and grants you an audience of poorly adjusted teenagers. Again, you're making more money than most people ever will. Stop sobbing, you goddamn snowflake. You sound really upset that your side's attempts to make me unemployed forever failed. Yes, I do make a lot of money and it brings me so much joy knowing that it is you absolutely seething. Cancel culture is still real. You're just molding that your crap is getting pointed out. I'm not mad about anything, I'm just tired of seeing pussies complain about being cancelled to their audience of millions. You weren't cancelled. You made a bad joke and got hate/fans accordingly. Stop being a snowflake. Holy. Right, it was much more than just getting hate. He was arrested. And all the legal stuff only ended a couple weeks ago. When the joke was from 6.5 years ago. I think I see what the problem is here. You don't actually know what cancel is, and you're just redacted. SLAW alert. Not just capital, the left can't even come up with their own memes. Man, he's still crying. Does this dude have blue hair now? Anything else? Okay, please don't take me down for that. You must not own a mirror, buddy. You spend your time trolling women across the pond, losing their rights. You're a basement-dwelling loser. You seem very upset. Do I? This is going great as far as I'm concerned. Getting the call a notoriously dumbass YouTuber a pussy snowflake to his face. When is the last time someone successful beats with a World of Warcraft PFP 40 follower account, you loser? Being laughed at by me as an achievement. Jesus, that's sad. Yeah, that says more about you than it does him. Sad is something about being cancelled to your millions of teenage fans and wasting your time arguing with nobody on the internet because you can't stand being insulted. Pretty insane you chuds ever got away with calling anyone snowflakes. Okay, so I just need to do this again. There we go. You're right, you are nobody, but you're fun to laugh at. Confident stupidity is always entertaining, so don't undersell yourself. All these bloody people that argue Marcus, every single one of them, bar the base ones, because there are some base ones, but all the non-based ones, they all watch Fosh. Every single one of them. And you can tell because he was, I think he actually might have debated Marcus, but every time Fosh had a debate, he lost. But then the day later, he'd be like, yeah, I won that debate. When essentially all his arguments were autistic screeching. Because there are people who, I know this is going to be crazy for Fosh, but there are people who believe that, having sex with children is a bad thing. Anyway. I can hear the tears falling while I type this. You bro. This is the guy just got caught acting like an expert in something just for him. I have no idea what he's talking about. You're embarrassed, man. I get it. It happens. Acting like an expert in something just for him. I have no idea. What he was talking about is perfect way to sum up your career, dumbass. You better be careful before they jail you for misgendering. Sorry, I meant brutally harassing trans people online. Honest mistake. You claim cancel culture doesn't exist, and your main piece of evidence was pointing to a time it didn't work. That's like saying, can't say murder isn't real by providing a attempted murder case as an example. You're just too stupid to realize it. Honestly, man, just go back to playing World of Warcraft. Like, I don't understand how you play World of Warcraft, because I thought that the game requires other people to play it with. Common cancel culture exists, yet you've made your entire career off the back of the controversy from being cancelled. Right, Marcus isn't the only person that has been cancelled. Just because he bounced back doesn't mean everyone bounces back. Sorry, another example of someone that bounced back, but this is only a technicality. Dave Chappelle. So that's, 5 examples out of the probably hundreds or thousands that have been cancelled. You're such a snowflake, it's unimaginable. Your entire argument is people don't like my content, bro, you just suck. Oh well, you're just further proving you don't even understand it, bro. You managed to get an insurance payout after that guy tried to kill you, so I'm not sure why you're so upset about this attempted murder stuff. Jesus, please stop drinking Farnish. Bro, this dude thinks it's funny to pretend to be SE Justice. To troll and upset their rights are being taken away. You can do a lot better for internet role models, my friend. That was funny as hell, so was that, man. No, it wasn't. You're just mentally 15. You just have no sense of humor. This is from the dude who got arrested for his nerd. That's how banging my joke was. Cope, save, rage. I'm sure you did plenty of those things in handcuffs, buddy. No, I laughed the whole time. In fact, like, the photo that you can see is of him laughing while two officers were bringing him out in handcuffs, and their faces are priceless. It, like, you can tell that they're upset that Marcus is finding it funny. This guy's laughing about people being arrested for jokes and thinking he has moral high ground. Go polish your boots. Nobody should go to jail for jokes, really. I don't really think you should have been arrested. Thank you for saying that. But seeing how you turned out, I have no complaints at this point. Suck alley ass, bro. Imagine being 40 and being a troll. So embarrassing. I know that this is a stupid argument. It's not much of a rebuttal, but he's 34. Imagine being any age and crying on Twitter for hours over someone posting out that you were wrong. Sorry, pointing out. Where was I wrong? You produced a dog crap video with a misleading title, and you are a basement dwelling loser who has made a ton of money pretending you've been cancelled. I had a fun time at work, getting a little snowflake riled up. You're a grown ass man. You know what? I'm gonna call up your employer and get you fired because you're spending your entire time at work on Twitter. I live in a house that I own with my wife and child. You spent your whole shift crying about being wrong. Who's the loser? I think I've been very clear that making your living, making fun of women losing rights, and alarming about being cancelled makes you a smelly loser, but I do appreciate you inviting me to reiterate this. Right, that's not everything that he posts. That was one video, and yeah, there are other similar videos about trans people. But that's not the only thing that he posts. Like, the last video of his that I've seen was of vegans getting mad at Gordon Ramsay, making a TikTok video where he goes to his sheep, or lamb, like, pen, and going, which one of you am I going to eat? It's not just all trans people. You want to see something about all trans people? Go to Carl's channel. Or any of his channels. If I was wrong, you wouldn't be so obviously riled up. It's just more than me pointing out false crap. You said then you getting mad about it. Keep responding because you're raging about it. You're still a loser. Go on. Why not bust out incel, neckbeard, far right BS? Feel free to point out the false crap I'm saying rather than simply repeating that phrase. We might be able to go somewhere. That being said, the only place I'm going is your mom's house, your big mad buddy, and your army of unsupervised teenagers can't save you from this. What is he repeating? Accuses people of being teenagers. Says I'm going to your mom's house like he's on Xbox Live. The fact that his cancel culture is real and have a great life, both these facts seem to really irritate you and make you cry, and I'm here for it. Just store that line of KP nut dry roasted powder. You need an ambulance, big man. Of course that's something Barry Stanton would do. Most of these young people never know the beautiful voice of... I'm going to assume that that's porn. Great. 3 more people that he's arguing with. He's right now not sure why you think you should be entitled to a continuing media career for being convicted of criminal offence in relation to your media output. Describing that or even the trial itself as cancel culture stretches the definition beyond credulity. Are you so dense that you don't understand that what is being oppressed here is restrictions on free speech, regardless of who is doing the restricting? That the fact that a court convicted him doesn't somehow make it okay for him to be punished for what he did? You can describe anything as the consequences of your actions, but those actions only have those consequences because people decided they should. There's no law of physics that mandates these consequences. Pathetic, weak, lefty cunts demand that people suffer consequences for hurting their feelings. If they say If they can convince the courts to impose those consequences, then it's still wrong and can still reasonably be described as an extreme form of cancel culture. At what point would you say somebody losing an opportunity or being fired for something they've done becomes cancel culture rather than justified consequences? Right, that's different though. We're not talking about being fired from your work. Well, I was earlier, but gonna ignore that for now. We're talking about being arrested and being threatened with 1 year in prison. What are the limits of what you should be able to do before expecting said consequences in your eyes? Are there any? Also, how do you square putting employers firing staff down the lefties with the fact employers being given such freedoms is arguably quite a capitalistic principle? Right, yeah, you're correct there, but what you're missing out is that... Sorry, I've lost my point. Give me a second to think about it again. Right, it's not the employers firing Marcus. Well, sorry, my poster fell for the 50th time. It's the bosses firing Marcus, but the reason why they're firing Marcus is because of communist, Antifa, lefties calling up the work and saying, you guys have hired a Nazi, fire this guy, or, my army of however many people will not only stop buying from your shop, but we will burn it down to the ground. Like that. It's not... So technically, it's not the boss doing the firing, it's the Antifa dumbasses. Isn't employers having greater control over the workforce with left government intervention quite right-wing? It's not right-wing, it's libertarian. You don't understand the difference between you choosing not to consume content and deciding what content others can consume. I do understand the difference, not sure what you're responding to here, that you believe in the right for companies to set their own workforce. Is that right? So let's say they set their workforce in a way you don't like. You okay with that then? For example, hiring exclusively straight white guys. Would you be okay with that? No, you wouldn't, because you'd all be like, oh, it's sexist, racist, homophobic, etc. And this isn't just firings from jobs, this is types of content being controlled by one side of the political spectrum. There's a word for that. So you want to force companies to produce certain kinds of content. How exactly do you square that kind of free speech circle? Companies are not producing the content, they're hosting it. Private companies can do what they want and all that. However, segmented sites are now being pressured by government to comply with speech laws. So you want to force companies to not produce certain kinds of content. Also, this isn't just companies. People who go off to make their own platforms, shows, events, etc. are getting shut down by the mob because it's never enough for authoritarians to just not watch the content themselves. They have to prevent others from seeing it too. Who's shutting them down? Antifa. As I said. Often companies hosting the events responding to outrage from political customers who don't want to upset, so as to maximise their demands and profits, free market principles. It's not that they're saying that if you do this, we will stop consuming your content, we'll stop giving you money, basically. That's not what they're saying. They're saying if you do this, we will burn it down to the ground, or firebomb it, throw bricks, molotovs, etc. through the windows. Like, there's a massive difference between those two things. Left-wing activists are shutting them down. I mean, crap, one of our venues pulled out because Antifa threatened to firebomb it. See? They even harassed a crowd out of a family bar that hosted an after party of ours. Not to mention petitioning the government to pressure companies. I'm sorry, but using violence and government regulations is the kind of the opposite of free market. That's a pretty bad example, yes, but speaking to the majority of the cases here, it is perfectly in line with free market principles or not, without bringing in specific other examples and focusing on principle in most cases. So you're just going to disregard the evidence I presented? What about right-wing demonstrators being constantly attacked and harassed by Antifa, even having their homes tracked down and attacked? You can't just say, but that's not all the time and disregard it. How is using government on pressure one of the prime reasons behind the platform in the free market? When YouTube was pulled before the UK government and told to delete YouTube channels, how was that the free market? How is harassing businesses the free market? Like, this guy is the kind of person to say that, the Antifa riots were mostly peaceful. Don't mind cancel culture and complaining about the companies you work for, self-determining their workforce and firing and questioning how you square that with your belief in the free market. So when my employers phoned for blowing up and people were booking fake contracts and appointments and trying to hack their websites, that was the free market. And also doxing employees and their families when they refused to fire me, was that the free market? Is it not? No, it's not. It is not free market to commit violent acts. Why are you struggling to understand this? Those customers may not have been acting upon free market principles, but I don't see any regulation. Would you like the state to step in and enforce something? No! He's advocating for the opposite. No, it isn't, and it's established a problem here. You don't actually understand free market principles or what the free market even is. The free market is having the ability to freely trade with whoever and whatever you want. Sabotaging businesses through mob harassment is you restricting companies' ability to be able to do this. Restricting a business's ability to freely trade through sabotage and mob harassment is not the free market. Don't like a company, don't buy its products, but when you try and stop others from buying its products, you're restricting free market trade because what other people want to buy is not up to you, it's up to them because this is a free market. However, want to solve that, which is antithetical to what a free market is, so I have no idea why you're espousing free market principles when you don't even understand or believe in it. And that's the poster fully down, because I have the top left and the top right bits of it on blue tack, and the left bit of blue, it fell from the left bit and now it's falling from the right bit. I'm going to have to get tape. But that's the freedom of consumers to petition boycott, is it not? It's the role of supply and demand, and I haven't responded to my point about companies self-determining the workforces because all-cost jokes may compromise their brand. That's their right, is it not? If our consumers wanted to counter that, to keep a business alive, they could, and there would be no need for companies to fire those staff if they don't want to drop their hosting of events. But how do you complain about being fired by companies you want to have unregulated power? Except petitioning and boycotting is exactly all they're doing, isn't it? Let's at least try to be honest and not pretend that's all this is. After the employers said it was a joke, we're not firing him, that's when the harassment and targeting sites started. We tried to do that. The sad thing is the government, our media is not on our side, since we're the biggest scary right wingers when Marcus isn't right wing, as he has to point out multiple times. Also, can someone let me know how the hell you're supposed to unlock more activations in the global conflict bit of Agents Man, because it says like you're allowed up to 3, but 2 of them are locked. How do you unlock the other 2? Okay, I found it, but I don't have enough money to buy it. Also, hard to keep a business alive when it's being DDoSed. My point is, some of them didn't want to fire me. Also, using a comma instead of a apostrophe. But that wasn't enough for the mob, who then moved in with threats, harassment, and all other kinds of malicious stuff, thereby restricting its ability to do what it wants, which is again antithetical to the free market. Look, let's just be really honest here. That's just Jack's song. Your interpretation of what the free market is, private companies can do what they want until they do something I don't want. You don't actually believe in the free market. I don't believe in the free market, no, but you supposedly do. Yes, he does. What he's... So, let me get this straight. Marcus, this is your perspective. Marcus says that he believes in the free market, but really he doesn't, because he doesn't like the fact that Antifa threaten to firebomb his venues. You have some really bad takes. It's not free market for Antifa to firebomb venues, dumbass. It's the opposite. Although, by the sounds of it, you wanted a state to step in where petitioners were attempting to have you fired. It was more than just a petition. It was threats of violence. You can't just complain that their actions compromise the free market without a negative implication of that is that there should be a state to intervene in order to keep things how you wish them to be, which obviously runs antithetical to your pure free market ideal. I can tell since you don't fully understand that also the fact that you can't conceive of any viable solutions outside of state intervention helps me greatly, since such a locked mindset restricts your ability to think outside of being under the thumb of a state. The state itself is the root of all problems and is very often used by large established companies to restrict competition that further restricts the free market. For example, payment processors Visa and MasterCard control about 87% of global money transfers, almost 100% in the West. These companies have successfully lobbied the state to protect their hegemony. There's so much regulation around payment processing that only large established companies have the capital to meet them, meaning they never have to worry about competition, since no newcomer has a hope in hell of meeting these regulations. This means that if a company gets banned by either of these two companies, boom, dead. Under a true free market, there would be hundreds, maybe thousands of competitors that a company could go to if the mob sabotaged them. As for companies being protected, it should not be the state but companies themselves that do the protecting. This would mostly be through civil cases and private law against individuals that are sabotaging trade within the company. However, due to the regulations, companies are extremely limited in doing this, since they sadly always give the default their conflicts to the state, who do an utterly horrible job at it, meaning companies are very often left to the mercy of the mob. Keep talking about the state being brought in to solve these problems, bruh. The state caused these problems. I want free market capitalism, except when consumers exercise their choice demand and companies respond in their interests because they're sometimes left-wing. You mean 99% of the time left-wing? And also it's more than... it's not just... Plus, I already said that consumers could counter petitioners with support if they wanted to keep companies alive, but it seems that is not enough for you. This doesn't seem really relevant, but I just want to mention it. Well, how come I supported Saving Legends of Tomorrow and Legends of Tomorrow is still cancelled? Okay, even though I've pointed out several examples of the direct sabotage of market restrictions, keep diverting it into customers choosing where to shop when that's not all this is. You're just pretending it is your mom bullying. But anyways, good chat. Oh god. I mean, it's possible that this could, like, this could either mean two things. One, that's the kind of thing that he likes, or two, he's disgusted by it. Can't tell because it ended too soon. Mr. Meekin, what are you doing here? It's only 27,000 yen.